The Gospel of Luke presents to us this very parable of the merciful father, featuring a father with his two sons. The story highlights some features of this father, who is a man always ready to forgive. Especially striking is the father's tolerance before the younger son's decision to leave home. He could have opposed it, knowing that he was still immature, a youth, or sought a lawyer not to give him his inheritance as the father was still living. Instead, he allows the son to leave. Although foreseeing the possible risks, God works with us like this. He allows us to be free, even to making mistakes, because in creating us, He has given us the great gift of freedom. It is for us to put it to good use. This gift of freedom that God gives us always amazes me. But the separation from His Son is only physical, for the Father always carries Him in His heart. Trustingly, He awaits His return. The Father watches the road in the hope of seeing Him, and one day He sees Him appear in the distance. But this means that this Father every day would climb up to the terrace to see if His Son was coming back. Thus the Father is moved to see Him. He runs toward Him, embraces Him, kisses Him. So much tenderness, and this son got into trouble. But the Father still welcomes him so. The Father treated the eldest son the same way, but as he had always stayed at home, he is now indignant and complains because he does not understand and does not share all that kindness towards his brother that had wronged. The Father also goes to meet this son and reminds him that they were always together. They share everything. One must welcome with joy the brother who has finally returned home. The Father waits for those who recognize they are sinners and goes in search of the ones who feel righteous. This is our Father. In this parable, you can also glimpse a third son. A third son? Where? He is hidden. And it is the one who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking the form of a servant. This servant son is Jesus. He is the extension of the arms and heart of the Father. He welcomed the prodigal son and washed his dirty feet. He prepared the banquet for the feast of forgiveness. He, Jesus, teaches us to be merciful as the Father is merciful. The figure of the Father is the parable reveals the heart of God. He is the merciful Father who in Jesus loves us beyond measure, always awaits our conversion every time we make mistakes. He awaits our return when we turn away from Him thinking we can do without Him. He is always ready to open His arms no matter what happened. As the Father of the Gospel, God also continues to consider us His children even when we get lost, and comes to us with tenderness when we return to Him. He addresses us so kindly when we believe we are right. The errors we commit, even if bad, do not wear out the fidelity of His love. In the sacrament of reconciliation, we can always start out anew. He welcomes us, gives us the dignity of being His children, and tells us, "Go ahead, Be at peace, rise, go ahead. In this time of Lent that still separates us from Easter, we are called to intensify the inner journey of conversion. May the loving gaze of our Father touch us all. Let us return to Him with all our heart, rejecting any compromise with sin. May the Virgin Mary accompany us until the regenerating embrace with divine mercy.